Good evening. I'm sweating because I mean there is no air conditioning in the room. Anyway, we keep like having like interesting thing. In the science front. In the rescue front, as usual, the Israelis are speaking and the world is collapsing. And I would say that the titanium container, is very very interesting, and I've just checked like a couple of slides, and it's kind of interesting. Huge life form were created over there, and I've taken like three of the biggest and placed them like in a separate jar, and then maybe we will actually take a look on them. I need to slice like just a tiny bit and put it like under the microscope in order to see how it's made, like what's the texture, because it's like a couple of centimeters each. It's much bigger than everything that I've seen until now, and it's very interesting. It's synthetic. It certainly was created. Very short period of time. Inside the container. How can such big life forms just appear? Inside like an electrolysis chamber. While it's like 30 or 40 volts. Of current is flowing. It's of course it's these are synthetic life forms that were created very quickly by the neos because we had many of them because of the new we now work with much higher density of neurons than before, both because I think that the synthetic multiplication is more successful for several reasons that maybe I will elaborate on them on it like later. But also of course the base material is supremely more dense, because we use now as base material things from the aquariums and not just my semen, which was the standard, or my semen P. And I would say that, yes, it's very interesting to actually inspect these huge life forms, and it's also interesting to actually conduct a separate experiments where I will try to actually make it even larger, and I certainly will do it today or tomorrow, using these three corpses of huge life forms, dissected life forms that I have. I'll try to give the neurons the command to actually create larger of those stuff, and to see. I don't know. Can they create a meter long snake in a jar? I don't know. What's the limit? It's very. It's like it just. It raises many questions. That are interesting. Just even if just for curiosity. But of course I want. After I've seen my mistake of giving the command to make them bigger instead of eliminating them from the container. It was my objective to actually start to eliminate these life forms. So because of two reasons. First, I want a mixture that was mainly with neurons, and second, because of the symbolic aspect of my own body. And so I've changed the symbol and started the electrolysis regular one, and after a while, not much time, I've taken a sample, and I've seen that the very huge life forms were not there. Most probably they just shredded by the electricity. Because maybe I'm wrong, but intuitively it seems to me that the very big ones are they cannot swim in such. It's a question of how are they even created, because they are also created in such voltage, and I don't know the answer, but my guess is that they were destroyed by the same process that actually the same energy source that actually created them, and I don't understand exactly how it passed away. Of course, that the neurons takes place in the process. They do things with the energy, but either construct these creatures or chop them, but I don't understand exactly how it works. And also, we have seen a significant reduction of the very small life forms, like the usual microbes that we see. But to my dismay, I've still detected the, I would say, medium. Up until now they were considered large or even huge because they can be seen with my own eyes, without microscope. But in relation to the 8 centimeter snake that we've seen, they are now changed from very big to medium. things like, I mean, like that, maybe 1 centimeter or half centimeter, things that I actually have seen like with I mean, with tools that I've just inspected with that microscope, and this to my dismay, because I mean, I thought like to myself, I mean, why, I mean, how is it so? I mean, the big ones are not, the huge ones are not there, and we don't have them, and the microbes also like sustained like serious damage, probably by the neurons with the electrolysis. But so, what's the deal with those? But after like a little bit of thought, it actually makes sense, because again, the huge ones are, I guess that they die by I mean, they die by the like the high voltage, and then they are chopped like either by internal like forces or by the neurons themselves. They are chopped to pieces, and maybe and then you see the remnants like as the brown material, which is so common like in areas where, I mean, many life forms died. I mean, we've seen it a lot, I mean, already. And the small ones probably were died in the hands of the neos. But the ones that are like half a centimeter or centimeter long, they are actually huge. I mean, as I said, I mean, until now I've considered them huge. I mean, we've seen such a great increase in size today. I mean, it was like a tremendous increase in size that, I mean, all like the scale is changed dramatically, like in one day. So now they're not huge anymore. They're just, I mean, maybe medium. But from the point of view of the neurons, they are huge. So if you actually want them to die, like, it's like, it makes sense that you need actually very big neurons, and I don't have very big neurons. Like, all my neurons are, I mean, I have a lot, but I don't have huge ones. Like, mostly small or tiny, and like a little bit of large ones, but not very huge ones. So it makes sense that, I mean, if you want to kill like such a huge animal and you have a microscopic worker, like microscopic, I mean, it makes sense that it will be difficult for microscopic workers to actually kill and dissect an animal which is not microscopic. And again, maybe, I mean, paradoxically, it's probably easier for them to actually kill the very big ones, because they don't like chop them completely. They just use, I mean, they just disassemble them. It's very easy to disassemble them, I mean, when they're like in such a high voltage. I mean, it happens just by moving them with a stick or like a fork or anything that I mean, they disassemble almost by themselves, like in this mixture. So that was my explanation why, I mean, to my dismay, I actually like detected like these like half centimeter life forms with my own eyes. But I mean, after that, I mean, it's still, I mean, continue with the electrolysis, and I've actually changed it. I mean, first to some kind of like, I mean, energy transfer, but it didn't have like any noticeable effect. And I know that you are laughing now, but then I changed it. But I have changed it actually to another like another kind of like design, which I actually, I mean, it was not like, I mean, just out of a whim. I thought about it like a lot of what I want to actually do. So now it's actually a new design, which is not energy transfer, but it's kind of like electrolysis that is very different from the ones that I've used until now, by the fact that it actually uses the container itself, which is metallic, for the electrolysis to actually happen. And this is actually successful. I mean, it's successful by the fact that I didn't take like sample format, but it really changed like, I mean, the texture of I mean, let's take a look at, let me at that like at more detail, because I sense that it might be important, at least in the context of like how you conduct electrolysis in all sorts of scenarios. So let's do it a little bit later. But I mean, one thing that we actually need to do now this evening is to take samples of my pee and like under the microscope and see, I mean, what's inside my body. So I've actually just now peed in like in this glass, and I've taken 2 samples, and one of them I actually like reviewed very quickly before I started this video, and I haven't seen almost anything like at all. But let's review it again, and also the second one that I actually did not review at all. So let's take a look. So this is normal magnification, 64, It smells like pee. The light is flickering. Maybe I need to actually like so the battery is probably wasted. Let's just connect the transformer. It will take just a second. Okay, now it's much stronger, right? This is not a life form, it's like probably, some kind of like miniature creation, like drawing. I don't see anything that, that is like, I don't know what it is. Looks like, just rubble. Okay, this is the life form on the top. The lens is dirty, but so far so good. We don't see like something significant. A lot of rubble, perhaps chopped life forms, I don't know. Perhaps just chemicals, chemical like that were excreted like in my pee. Okay, this is a small life form. Another small one. And this is a disgusting one. So okay, this is much better than the worst, the bad one that we've seen like this morning. It's also much better than the one that we've seen yesterday morning. It's good. So far so good. Let's take a look at another one. I just peed now, so it's fresh sample. Just before I started this video. I don't know why it's difficult. Okay, because we are not like, it's not the slide yet. Yeah, just a second. Now it's the slide. Okay. Okay, so we start with bed. Something bad. It looks like like an abstract painting. It's a life form that I guess it's dead, but it's chopped because it's kind of like an irregular like formation. But certainly it's not something that we want to see. Optimally, of course, these things should not exist in the sample, because it's a very big one. We need to be in a situation that those big ones do not exist. Of course, I myself like contributed to their existence with the titanium, like the wrong, like symbolism. But I hopefully this will be corrected. This is already corrected. Okay, so yeah, it's not like a terrible sample. It's better than other ones that we actually seen. But yes, there are life forms here, and we don't want them at all in my P. So hopefully, so again, two samples. One is excellent, and one is not that good. Like this one is not that good. Of course, the objective is that we will see zero of these things. It's difficult for me to say, whether they're alive or dead. Maybe they're dead. I cannot recognize, like, if they are dead or alive. But, if they're all dead, after some time they will just dissolve and we will not see any of them. And so this is, it's still certainly a work in process. And as I said, I myself contributed significantly today by, like giving the opposite command and just because I was tired and confused. But these things happened. It happened a lot before, and still happens. I do not have intuitive control of this like symbolic language, and I made a lot of mistakes. And this time the mistake was within affected my own body, but it's not something that you cannot correct. And I think that it's already. I try to be optimistic because the first slide was actually very good. Just the second was not that good. Of course, I can just take more and more samples. For my P, but I think it's. It's better to just give it more time and maybe tomorrow morning to have more tests and see. If we are having a good trend now. And of course, it's new to me that I even have this sickness, and it brings so much stuff that I cannot even comprehend now. And everything is related to the evilness of his society, like cruelty of his society, because of course they knew. All those other, I guess that my other intelligence services knew that I have this sickness, and so why didn't they tell me? Why did? It's now obvious to me that I'm kind of in kind of a leper colony. Obviously the other people in this hostel are also having the sickness. But none of that was known to me. It's all, and it's such a cruelty and inhuman treatment of person. Not to tell him, and who knows, maybe the arrest and maybe the things that happened in the court, in the family court, were all related to this sickness that everybody seems to know about it, outside of myself, that I'm the one that was inflicted with this disease. Of course, not by having sex with anyone, but someone actually infected me. Intentionally. Now. This is so cool. It's so cool, and to think that they are having all these charades in court of law and in other kind of hospitals without speaking without naming the actual condition. So the patient presumably cannot even know what's the issue, and that there is even an issue. This is so cool. And this is Homo sapiens. And we are. Now it's the 21st century, and this is Homo sapiens. This is it. This is Homo sapiens, not what you see in TV, not Netflix and chill. This is Homo sapiens.